Welcome to the Explainer. All right, let's look ahead, way ahead, to 2026. We're talking about a smartphone showdown that's shaping up to be more than just a fight for the best phone. It's really about the future of what a phone even is.
See, the big question here isn't just about what features these phones have. It's way deeper than that. It's about philosophy. Are you the kind of person who wants the most powerful tool you can get your hands on? Or are you looking for the smartest assistant to help you through your day?
So you've got these two titans getting ready to go head-to-head. In one corner, you have the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, a beast that's all about pushing the physical limits of what's possible. And in the other corner, the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL, a device built from the ground up to be a genius AI. This is a real clash of ideas for what that thing in your pocket should be doing for you. Okay, let's get into it. To really get what's happening here, you gotta understand the completely different playbooks these two companies are using. They're not just throwing features at a wall, they are making huge bets on what you are gonna care about most in a couple of years.
So, Samsung's strategy? It's all about pure, raw power. No apologies. Their whole philosophy is that the best phone is the one with the biggest, baddest numbers on the spec sheet. You know, building a device that can just physically do more than anything else out there.
But Google, they're coming at this from a totally different angle. They're saying, hey, it's not about raw horsepower. For them, the smartest phone is the one with incredibly helpful software that's always a step ahead of you, working in the background without you even having to ask. It's less of a tool and more of an assistant that knows what you need before you do.
All right, so how does this all actually shake out in the real world? Let's break down the key areas where these two phones are going to clash. First up, performance. And this is a classic brains versus brawn situation. Samsung is reportedly going all in with Qualcomm's next big thing, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2. Think pure, unadulterated speed for heavy-duty gaming and pro-level apps. On the other side, Google's using its own custom-built chip, the Tensor G5, which isn't about winning speed tests. It's designed specifically to run all those complex AI models right there on your phone super efficiently.
And this chart right here, it tells the story perfectly. These are leaked scores, but they show the Snapdragon with a huge lead in raw processing power. That's the hardware king strategy in a nutshell. If you're a gamer or a creator, that number means buttery smooth frame rates and lightning fast video renders. But Google is basically saying, that's not the race we're running. They're betting that for most of us day to day, that AI smarts is what's really going to make a difference.
Okay, let's talk cameras. Because if you want to see this hardware versus software battle in its purest form, this is it. It's like a fight between a master lens crafter and a genius photo editor.
So check this out, 47%. That's how much more light the S26 Ultra's main camera can supposedly pull in. Rumor is they're using a new f.1.4 aperture lens, which is, well, it's a huge deal. It's a massive physical advantage. And in photography, more light is the name of the game. It just makes everything better.
And it's not just that one lens. Samsung is throwing the kitchen sink at this thing. We're talking a whole arsenal of high-res cameras for every possible shot. A faster autofocus, even better cooling to handle all that power. It is a total brute force approach. Their goal is to just vacuum up as much physical data, as much light and detail as humanly possible. Google's strategy, though, is the polar opposite. They're less obsessed with capturing the most data and more focused on what their AI can do with the data they get. Think about features like Auto Best Take, where it magically makes sure everyone in a group photo has their eyes open and is smiling, or a camera coach that literally helps you frame a better shot. It's like having a little AI photo editor living in your phone, fixing things for you.
And this difference in thinking even shows up in charging. Yeah, they're both going to be fast. But Samsung is chasing the highest number, the absolute fastest wired charging speed possible. Fill her up in record time. Google's fast too, but they're also bringing in the new Q2 standard. That's the one with magnets, kind of like Apple's MagSafe. So for them, it's more about convenience and building a whole ecosystem of accessories.
So let's just zoom out for a second and look at the tail of the tape. You can see the pattern, right? Processor, camera, charging, it's the same story everywhere. Samsung goes for bigger, faster, more powerful hardware. Google focuses on smarter, more helpful software and AI integration. Two totally different paths.
Okay, so now that we've laid all that out, the really big question comes back to you. Which of these visions actually makes sense for the way you live and the way you use your phone?
Because let's be real, specs on a piece of paper don't mean anything if the experience sucks. I love this comment from a user on Reddit. They said no one cares about megapixels and RAM if you can't get a decent picture of anything with even slight movement. And that just nails it, right? Who cares about 200 megapixels if you still can't get a non-blurry shot of your dog? The real-world experience is everything.
So, how do you choose? Well, it kind of boils down to this. If you want an absolute monster of a device for top-tier gaming and heavy-duty apps, you go with the S26 Ultra. But if you'd rather have a super smart assistant that just makes your life easier, you're probably leaning toward the Pixel. Are you a pro photographer who wants to control every little detail? Samsung's hardware is for you, but if you just want to point your phone at something, press a button, and get a fantastic shot every single time, that's Google's AI magic.
And here's a huge thing to keep in mind. The old debate about software updates, it's over. It's a tie. Both companies are now promising 7 years of updates, so you don't have to worry about which phone is going to be supported longer. The choice is now purely about which experience you want right here, right now.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't just about picking one phone over the other. What we're seeing here is a preview of where the whole industry is going.
This is a really pivotal moment for smartphones. The old war, the one that was all about who had the most megahertz or the most megapixels, that's changing. It's evolving into a totally new kind of battle, one that's fought with intelligence and proactive assistance. The question is no longer just how powerful is this thing? It's becoming how helpful is it?
And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. Are we watching the end of the spec war? Is this the last great battle of the hardware arms race? And is this the real beginning of the AI war? A fight that's won not with raw power, but with artificial brains? I guess we'll find out.